Estate planning for retirees. What you need to know as you are approaching planning for your estate, coming up right now in this video. Hey guys, I'm Rob Tatro from robtatro.com, portfolio manager here at Canaccord Genuity Wealth Management and at the Tatro Wealth Advisor Group. This one's going to be awesome. I'm excited and jacked to talk about this. Estate planning for retirees is something that too many people are thinking about. And I'm glad you're here today because you're going to get some fantastic advice and some fantastic thoughts on how to start planning for your estate. Let's bring him in right now, ladies and gentlemen. Adam Buss, Wealth and Estate Planning Specialist here at Canaccord Genuity. Adam, thanks for tuning in today. Thanks for coming in.
Hey, Rob, always good to be here.
Yes. Now let's get right into it. So first things first, what is estate planning, Adam?
Well, estate planning can fall under a couple different categories, but it's getting clients to think about, how do they want to be remembered? What does the legacy mean to them? Do they want to leave a pile of money to their kids, to a charity? Who's going to look after their financial affairs if they're unable to look after that themselves? I mean, at the end of the day, an estate is basically everything that you own under your name. So how do you want that to be dispersed down the road?
It's basically the planning of the transfer of wealth in addition to all the holistic aspects, but the holistic stuff and the transfer of wealth from yourself to whoever's left after you pass away. That makes sense, right?
That makes sense. Absolutely.
Always done through holistic financial plan as well. You don't want to be just doing an estate plan, right? You want to be making sure that if you are doing an estate plan, it's done through proper financial planning. And that's the kind of stuff we do here, right?
Yeah, you bet, Rob. We always take the holistic approach. We want to look at the client's entire financial picture. So how does retirement tie into the estate? How much is going to be left? Where are the assets? Is it in RSPs, TFSAs, non-registered insurance, corporation? We want to make sure that we are, as Rob always says, walk a mile in our client's shoes and try to, help them accomplish what their goals look like in the end. And we do that through holistic financial planning.
And part of that is administrative, right? So part of that will be making sure the beneficiaries are properly coded, making sure the paperwork and the POAs and the powers of attorney and the healthcare directives and that all fun stuff is properly coded and properly, the T's have been crossed and the I's have been dotted, which is important, I'm sure you'd say, right?
Yeah, we always want to make sure our beneficiaries are completely up to date on our end for life insurance, for TFSAs, registered accounts, and of course the wills. Just because you do your will 20 years ago doesn't mean that life hasn't changed and you shouldn't update it. You've just gone through a major life event, and as you approach retirement or as you do retire, there's a lot of changes that happen. Maybe you've moved, you've changed employment, you're retired, maybe you have grandkids. How does that all tie together for your estate planning goals?
Yeah, and if you're not sure about any of this, guys, go to www.speaktorob.com. We'd love to book a no obligation consultation to chat about this or anything else that's on your mind in planning. Now, Adam, a lot of people will talk about legacy, leaving a legacy. Talk about what we see in our day-to-day when we do estate planning and financial planning for clients.
Legacy means so much to so many different people. Either they want to make sure that they are leaving true lasting legacy, to a charity, to a foundation, to a university, or it's, leaving the legacy for their family of trying to make the next generation have less financial burdens than perhaps the prior generation went through. So it does mean something different to everybody. I had one client once that told me if I could put an air conditioning unit in every school or community hall, that would be fantastic. Because he just came from, I think, a wedding that had no air conditioning and thought that would be a great legacy to leave behind.
Oh, I remember back in the day at the Friedensfeld Hall, you'd go there on a summer night, on a Friday night, and people would be outside just to get a breath of fresh air. Good times back in the day. And yes, air conditioning can be an important legacy. Other legacies could also be, a family foundation. You mentioned that, having your name on a wing. If the money truly is multi-generational, so if the money is an amount that's going to be more than, for just your kids, we often take a look at those kind of further options, which might be donor advised funds or family foundations or perhaps even charitable giving, philanthropy. That all ties into estate planning, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that also ties together with the taxation of estates. I mean, we want to look at, who are we leaving the most money to? Do we want to try to leave the most money to the government in taxes? Most people tend to say no on that one. And most people say, I'd rather leave more money to my family, charity, anybody else than leaving it all to the government.
Yeah, and there are strategies we can do for that. We've talked about minimizing estate taxation through insurance. We've got other videos on this that are phenomenal. Check them out if you haven't checked them out yet. And by the way, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done so yet. A lot of really good content here, but it can be done through insurance. It can be done through through just proper investment management, right? If you focus on investments that have a less of an impact on the estate, you could do that as well. Different ways that we can minimize taxation. Now, you've obviously seen stuff as well, secondary homes, US properties, rental properties, corporations. It can be a lot of complicated situations that pop up with estate planning, right?
Every situation is different, which is why we like to take the holistic approach and make sure we're looking at it through the client's eyes and trying to look at the whole financial picture. Do they have rental properties? Do they want to keep the rental properties? Do they have a corporation? How is that going to flow to the next generation? There's a lot of moving pieces, and we want to make sure that we are there, walking hand in hand with the clients and trying to figure it all out and help them accomplish that goal.
We want to be the quarterback for all of your financial aspects. Every decision, major decision, you're going to need advice, and estate planning is a big part of it. It's included here for our clients. It's a big part of the service that we offer as part of our financial planning services, led by Head of Wealth and Estate Planning, Adam Buss. Adam, thank you so much for coming today. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm Rob Tatro from robtatro.com, portfolio manager here, Canaccord Genuity Wealth Management, and the Tatro Wealth Advisor Group. Go to www.speaktorob.com. We'd love to book a no obligation consultation, and have yourself a fantastic day. See you in the next video, guys.